Hello and welcome to Michigan, site to race number 14 of the Reebok Truck Series season. And oh boy, we are halfway home to deciding our 16 drivers that will fight for the championship here in season number 3. On the front row is Kyle Collins, and on the pole, Sam Young. Kyle Matthews, fresh off a Hooters Series win last week, is starting third. He'll start alongside James Shelley. Sky Commons, Jeff James, row 3, with Mason Powers, Alex Perkle in row 4, Zach Kreller, and John Irvin in row number 5. John Irvin now knows he will race for the championship as long as he's top 15 or top 30 in the points, because he has 2 wins. Here's the rest of the starting grid as I go through the points. Jay Stella is the points leader, coming in by 101 points over the 11 of Dylan Thoreau. Amanda Shelley is 113 back in third. Ashley LaPlante 116 back as Here Comes the Command.
Drivers, start your engines!
Then it's Eric Powers 128 back. Preston Plord 142 back is 6th in points. And then Steve Pollard, Alex Perkle, and Dylan Young with Alan Cavagnaro, the top 10 in points. Only the top 6 could leave here as the points leader, theoretically. Sorry, a little bit cold right now, and just the way that weather's going out here in California now. It's kind of amazing. We will be carrying 8 onboard cameras like we usually do. We'll start off with Jay Stella. He will be carrying the Dodge onboard camera. Just a row ahead of him, we have Preston Ford carrying the Menards onboard camera. Dylan Thoreau will be carrying the Good Sam onboard camera. Amanda Shelley will be carrying the Toyota onboard camera. Ashley LaPlante will be carrying the Chevy onboard camera. Eric Powers, the South Point Hotel and Casino onboard camera. Alex Perkle will be carrying the Red Bull onboard camera. And finally, if I can get up to him in time, Alan Cavagnaro will be carrying the Ford onboard camera for us today. But that said, pace truck getting ready to pull off. There we go. Field under control. The 84 Fruity Pebbles Toyota, Sam Young. And the green flag is out. We're underway for 20 laps here from Michigan. Boy, Eric Powers there was quick to try and jump to the inside and makes it 3 wide actually back there. That didn't take long. Perkle on the outside of the track there. Dylan Thoreau also shoved up high. And Kyle Matthews, who was fastest in happy hour, going to the lead right now on the back straightaway already. See a lot of this today. 2 wide racing and a lot of passing. But off turn 4, looks like Kyle Matthews will lead lap 1, but he won't lead for long because they're 3 wide for the top spot. Mason Powers wants it. 3 wide for second back there. Almost 4 wide. They are 4 wide. This ain't gonna end well. Oh boy. They're down to 3 now, as a little bit of touching there with the 22 and the 62. They're 4 wide again, and there they go. They're wrecking on the back straightaway. 3 cars involved at least. Okay, now they're wrecking. Big wreck on the back straightaway here into turn number 3. Mason Powers leads back to the line. And kind of amazing how few people... Wow. So an early wreck here at Michigan. And we're going to watch, make sure I don't have to make any I&I changes. Looks like we're good. Yep, they were able to slow up in time. Well, so looking at people that have damage, Sky Commons is one of them. Henry Powers looks to be involved. Greg Jones. Trevor Germain's been on a slide recently. Alex Perkle. There's Preston Plord. There's our pole sitter, Sam Young. Jessica Shelton involved. Chris Washer. I think Chris Washer's the defending winner of this race. Jackson, I think I saw involved. Kyle Collins I saw around. I don't know if he is involved. But most of the leaders... Okay, the leaders do not pit. It's only people at the back with damage that pit. Let's go ahead and take a look back at what happened. Well, they were feeling a little bit bold back here. They decided to... Or actually up here, really, because this was up in the top 10. Ashley LaPlante, 4 wide with Kyle Collins, decides to peek his nose in there. They make a little bit of contact here, but save it. But Kyle Collins decides, okay, I'm going to stay in it here. LaPlante tries moving up the track a little bit, and they're 4 wide in about 2 lanes of track. That will never work. There's James Shelley around it. We don't have an onboard with him, though, unfortunately, today. Seth Cole, there's Dylan Young getting by it. I don't think James Shelley gets any, maybe a little bit. But here's where all the wreck happens. See Dylan Thoreau around already at this point. Chris Louvier there just barely gets by. Plord runs into the back of the 83. That's how Powers gets involved. Let's see. Watch the 11 back there. Gonna see him come into screen. And he just runs into the back of Jackson to get turned around into this. Jay Stella gets involved. Somewhat, at least a little bit. John Irvin does a good job at stopping. Oh, Shelton had this miss, but then Jones plows him to the back of Germain, and that sends Germain up into the 9. That's a tough break. Mason Neal gets stopped. I think he doesn't get involved. Neither does Steve Pollard. Take a few onboards, and we'll get you back to the restart. Gonna be a little bit hard to see what happens, but here's the onboard of our points leader, Jay Stella. The other onboard we'll take, Alex Perkles. That part is he got slowed up for it and then just ran into people that were right in front of him. And we are back here on lap number 6. We're getting ready to get the green flag. Mason Powers is the leader over Jeff James, Matt Dixon, Eric Powers. Kyle Matthews is in 5th, and Oriel Pollard, Jonathan Zorline, Jake Bassinger, Max Neuwirth, and Seth Cole, the top 10. Interesting thing on Seth there is that he is 32nd in the points, looking to try and jump into the top 30 with that win that he's got. The rest of the top 20 then is Dylan Young, Pinky Louvier, James Shelley, Ashley LaPlante, Jay Stella, Amanda Shelley, Austin LaPlante, Tom Shelley, Paul Swanson, William Duncan. Then you got Hiroshi Kazuyoshi, Tim Greenwich, Stephen Paul III, Alan Cavagnaro, Chris Louvier, Kyle Collins, Zach Kreller, John Irvin, Charles Jackson, Chris Washer, Jessica Shelton, Kato Nakagawa, Mason Neal, Dylan Thoreau, Sam Young, Preston Plord, Steve Pollard, Greg Jones, Alex Perkle, Sky Commons, Trevor Germain, and Henry Powers. Not over for the people back here with damage, because we saw Seth Cole compete last week at Charlotte with damage, so we know that they'll still have a shot at doing some good, but, I mean, if you're Alex Perkle and Sky Commons, it's kind of hard to compete when you have no hood. So, it'll be a question of pretty much how long does it take us to catch those guys again, and do we get caution before we do? But here we go, field getting ready to get the green flag once again. And we are underway. A poor restart by Matt Dixon did not get going there. And that means Eric Powers all over the back bumper of that 29 truck as we head down to turn number 1. A little bit different conditions than we had in happy hour, so that's something. These conditions closer to qualifying in first practice. But Eric Powers now down the back straightaway into 3rd, looking for 2nd on Jeff James, getting a heck of a push from the 5 of Kyle Matthews. The Hendrick power is strong in that Quaker State Chevrolet. There's almost like a problem with Dixon's car. I don't know what it is, but that truck not up to speed. Look at this, 195. He's only going 192. Something amiss underneath the Realtree Outfitters Richard Childress Racing Chevrolet. Problems for Matt Dixon. Oh man, that's a tough break. Wait, is that the speed in the corners? It's down the straightaway. There's something wrong with that truck. Eric Powers, meanwhile, has grabbed the lead. We're trying to figure out what might be wrong with the 29. Maybe it's fixed. I don't know. Maybe just took a lap to get up to speed. But Dylan Young right now going for second on Jonathan Zorline. And now he wants the top spot. As Kyle Matthews battling 3 wide with Binky Louvier back there. That's a interesting spot to be in. Max Neuwirth up to third. Oriel Pollard trying for 5th on Seth Cole now. Here comes Amanda Shelley and our points leader Jay Stella working his way up towards the front. Oh boy, don't make it 4 wide. Oh boy, they're 4 wide. 4 wide. This ain't going to be good. Jay Stella, the points leader's in it. Duncan, Cole, Baskinger, look out. This could be bad. They've settled it down to 3 wide now. Okay, I think we're good. Okay, that was interesting. Stella, the big winner out of that one, as Neuwirth to the lead. As now Amanda Shelley into second. Oriel Pollard wants that spot. Remember, Neuwirth has a win this season in that 50 truck. So he's not in a big need to win. There's Sky Commons, Alex Perkle. Yeah, they're off the pace. Henry Powers off the pace. So too is Jermaine. I mean, you look back here at the trucks kind of off the pace right now. Shelton trying to make moves right now still on Sam Young. But those are going to be the trucks that we want to take a look at through the rest of this race. Oh my god, contact with Shelley, and that was LaPlante there in the 22. Oh boy. We're not done with the wrecks though, guys. I don't think so. Not the way that they're racing. Neuwirth continues to lead though. Now that's Eric Powers. Wrong Powers there in the 62. Kyle Matthews making it 3 wide on our all-time winningest driver, James Shelley. That's for third down into turn number 1. They are 4 wide again. This time, Matt Dixon right in the middle of it. Dylan Young, Seth Cole as well. Oh, and Dylan Young's off the wall, and around they go. 3 trucks around. Oh, and no, they were saving it pretty good. Oh, God. Washer just... That was terrible. I saw them coming in and I'm like, oh no, this ain't good. And yeah, they were only about a lap away from catching Sky Commons. Neuwirth is the leader over Powers and then Matthews. As looks like they're gonna get settled down pretty nicely here. Drivers involved though, Matt Dixon, Chris Washer's involved, Binky Louvier, Mason Neal's got a lot of damage. Oh man. Well, we're gonna have some drivers retire from that one. Let's go and take a look back at what happened. Well, we've seen it once already in this race, and we've just seen it again. 4 wide does not work, especially coming off turn 2. There's the contact you see there. They bounced Dylan Young up into the wall. Amanda Shelley. There goes the 99 and the 98 around. We'll check back in with them later. Dixon, in an attempt to save it, drives right back up the track in front of the 97. Nowhere for them to go. Binky Louvier gets collected. Door just closes up on Mason Neal there. Steve Paul does a good job driving through it. There's Kazuyoshi getting into the wall again. And look at these guys. Oh, who did Washer clip there? Oh, there's Jeff James clipping the 29. Who did Washer hit coming through this? I want to say he probably hit the 90. Either way, whoever he hit just barely clips him. I mean, the 9 barely misses, so does the 11. And it's just the 0 clips the 90. Oh, and unfortunately just gets into the back end of the 35 again. Tough break there. What? Let's check out the 99 though now. See what happened with them once they went to the bottom. I don't think that anything much really happened. Yeah, they just get kind of spun to the inside. Shelly actually gets corrected by the 60. Great job by Shelly to drive off from this. But Jeff James, Jonathan Zorline just spin around. And then Jeff was going to be just fine, but then he hits the 29 here in turn number 3. And it explodes the front end of Jeff James' truck, ending his day. I don't think there's any onboards to take from this one. Let's go ahead and go back to the restart now. And we are back. All drivers checked and released from the infield care center. Drivers out of the race are Binky Glivier, Tom Shelley, Kyle Collins, Jeff James, Chris Washer, and Mason Neal. Well, we're going to have 4 laps to go when we get the green flag. Max Newirth is leader, then it's Eric Powers, Kyle Matthews, Oriole Pollard, Tim Grenwich, Mason Powers, James Shelley, Seth Cole, Paul Swanson, William Duncan is the top 10. Then it's Jake Bassinger, Zach Kreller, Stephen Paul III, Ashley LaPlante, Dylan Young, Austin LaPlante, Jay Stella, Amanda Shelley, Alan Cavagnaro, Jessica Shelton's in the top 20, Sam Young in the top half of the field, Greg Jones, Steve Pollard, Chris Cleavier, Dylan Thoreau, John Irvin, Charles Jackson, Preston Plord, Hiroshi Kazuyoshi, Jonathan Zorline, Kato Nakagawa, Trevor Germain, Perkle still with no hood, Henry Powers, Sky Commons, and now Matt Dixon with the messed up aerodynamics on that Realtree Outfitters Chevrolet. You see the rear spoiler pointed up in the air, that ain't good. Yeah, the back end all bent up on that 29 truck. So, Newart's going to have to hold him off for 4 laps. Can he do it? Will that number 50 Super Seal Chevrolet be going to victory lane for the 2nd time this season? Newark took a gamble signing back with this team after just driving for him for a few races last season. So far, it's paid off. He would be in the chase had the chase started today. And if the chase had started today, he would have been in round 2 too, right now the way it's going. But the green flag is out. Can he hold on for 4 more laps? Kyle Matthews with not such a great start that time around. Mason Powers makes the move inside of the 19 down in turn 1. As Oriole Pollard makes a move on Kyle Matthews. Seth Cole went to the inside line. And Eric Powers to the top spot. Down the back straightaway, here they come. Oriole Pollard makes the move to the inside line with help from the 3 and the 34. Here we go. Oriole Pollard to the lead now with 3 to go. Here comes the 3 of Mason Powers. Here comes the 34 of Seth Cole. Just needing a good run to probably move into the top 30 points. And actually, Seth Cole is battling the person who is 30th in points right now. 34 and the 3 are 30th and 32nd in the points. They're 3 wide behind them. If they wreck, a green-white checkered will be what we get. Oh boy. Oh, and there they go! Caution is going to fly and we're going to have a green-white checkered. Zach Kreller involved. Oh my gosh. Jessica Shelton, Alan Cavagnaro. This one's not over yet. Kazuyoshi's got damage now. Forget where that was from. Seth Cole leads, but this one is not over. Look where the field runs right now because that's where you restart for the green-white checkered. Oh boy. And if you're able to survive, guess what? You get to run with a new truck. Great news for Shelton, Perkle, Sky Commons, Matt Dixon. They get to roll out. They get to fix up their cars. Let's go and take a look back at what happened there as we get ready for a green-white checkered here from Michigan. Well, apparently people had not learned their lesson from the first couple wrecks because Kreller's going to come up the track here. They are 4 wide pretty much behind him. And Kyle Matthews is going to be the one to get the right rear quarter panel. And I mean just barely gets the 23 here. There you see it. And that's what turns the 23 around. Powers gets the wall. Newarth kind of getting lucky here at this point. Kyle Matthews kind of gets lucky as well. Steven Power the third gets some damage. Nowhere for Cavagnar to go. There's Jay Stella. He has to do a nifty job at saving it. And there's Jessica Shelton. Nowhere for her to go either on this one. A rough wreck right there. Just amazing that they have not been able to learn that they cannot go 4 wide on this track. But let's go ahead and get you back to the green-white checkered restart. And we are back. The sun has come out. Oh my gosh, it is so much more brighter out here. Seth Cole getting ready to lead us down. He's looking for win number 2 on the season. Can he hang on for 2 caution-free laps? That is our guarantee. We will get 2 caution-free laps, and no matter what happens, even on this first lap, they will race it back no matter what. William Duncan there going for win number 2 in the season. Baskinger's looking for win number 1. Powers win number 1. Green flag is out. The outside line got to jump on that one. How about that? I would be kind of surprised if Baskingers does not give that spot back to Seth Cole. Meanwhile, they're 4 wide back there. Oh boy, this ain't going to be good. Still 4 wide. Now it looks like Baskinger's going to give the spot back to Seth. So, took him a little bit, but he will get the spot back in, so that will make it a valid restart. Tough break for Bassinger. Got a really good jump. Just got a little too early of a jump. Here we go, though. They're coming to the white flag. William Duncan. He's got his teammate, though, looking to his inside. Paul Swanson going for second. Swanson wants the lead. Can the Canadian, who is 19th in the points, get the job done? Rumors that he's going up to Xfinity/Hooters next season. Wouldn't that be something? 4 wide behind him with our points leader in the middle of it. And our most recent winner. There they go. The points leader's around, but we're just going to keep watching the lead. Because it looks like Seth Cole's going to win race number 2 of the season. Here comes Swanson into second. Going to come up 1 spot short. The Reebok Truck Series, the Maverick Robotics 200, will go to Seth Cole. And look at some of the people coming in. Kazuyoshi gets through and makes it 10. Wow. So Seth Cole gets the job done. Let's take a look at what happened. Once again, 4 wide. For some reason, they couldn't figure out that they cannot go 4 wide. And it's Jay Stella, John Irvin. There's Greenwich bouncing off people. Baskinger involved. Mason Powers, Dylan Thoreau. Kato Nakagawa gets clipped, but makes it through. There's Steve Pollard going around. Oh, he's going to take a hard hit to the outside wall. There's Newish. Shelley gets through. Jackson barely gets through. Burkle, man, he had a rough day. What were these two doing so far back? Oh, wow. So Sky Commons blows up on the start. So that explains why Commons is on pit lane. We go green, he hits the throttle, and it just erupts in smoke. Tough break for the 17. So that puts those guys so far back. Then, of course, we skip ahead to this lap. And we're trying to look at Steve Pollard this time. This time, we want to see if anything happened with Pollard after the initial clip. There you see the wreck in front of him. He's going to try and make it by, and probably was until the clip with Dylan Thoreau, who's trying to avoid Jay Stella. Takes a hard hit. That's where Kreller's going to get involved, and Matt Dixon. Shelley gets through another part of that wreck, though. Dang. There's so Kazuyoshi and Shelton, tough break on the restart, but yet they come back, and because of all this shenanigans on the final lap, Kazuyoshi's going to get a top 10, and Shelton finishes 11th. That is such a crazy, crazy day. I don't know how else to describe that. Shelley still comes across in 12th. But either way you look at it, Seth Cole is a 2-time winner this season. And if that doesn't put him top 30 in the points, I don't know what will. He's going to jump to not only in the chase, but actually probably one of the top 2 seeds right now with just 12 races left to go in the race to the chase. The Smoky Mountain Chevrolet of Seth Cole wins by 0.08 of a second over Paul Swanson, comes up second once again. Still a great run for Swanson, his second top 5 of the year. Amanda Shelley, Austin LaPlante, William Duncan, Oriel Pollard, Sam Young, John Irvin, Kato Nakagawa, and Kazuyoshi, the top 10. And wow,